Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Welcome to grade 7. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum to you all. Dear students, our today's lecture is second lecture of class 7 and it has been prepared by collective efforts of SGW2 and SBW2 both wings. I am highly thankful to our worthy management, especially principals of academic ed and our both wing heads to manage this online system of lectures. Of course, it will be very helpful for you as well as for us all. Okay, now dear students, we are going to general instructions of this lecture. General instructions for this lecture are as under. First of all, point first, dear students, you have to mark your attendance by clicking the link of the attendance website in the description box which is given below. This such type of box will be shown in the attendance box and you have to mark your attendance till the start of lecture, and then after the end of lecture you also have to mark your leaving attendance. Okay, it means your attendance should be 100% in your lecture. You have to attend this lecture 100% clearly and with much and more interest. Okay, second point, students, please keep your books, notebooks, pencil, eraser or related stationery for this lecture to note down this lecture. Okay, understand? Dear students, you have given an assignment, you will be given an assignment at the end of this lecture. In between this lecture you have to solve that assignment and you then submit that assignment in your WhatsApp groups to your respective class teachers, subject teachers. Okay, understand? Is it clear? It means assignment in this lecture, two assignments will be given and you have to solve these assignments, write answers of those questions logically, clearly and explain them and contact to your and submit them to your WhatsApp group to your respective teacher. Okay, now at the end of this lecture you can ask questions related to these topics, related to this lecture, all topics of this lecture in your WhatsApp group. And you can also ask about assignments via your class group. Okay, understand? It is clear? Now students, we are going to our today's lecture. As you know, we have started chapter 1. In first lecture we studied about what is heat, what is temperature and what is difference between heat and temperature, how particles move, and our today's lecture is also about these topics, some further topics of this heating and cooling, and our today's lecture includes page 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, now come towards topics of this lecture and objectives of this lecture. Dear students, the topics to be discussed today are, first of all, heat is about moving particles. It means for the movement of particles heat is required, and by studying this topic you will be able to understand the relationship between heat and kinetic energy, what is kinetic molecular theory of matter, and so on. Its second heading is transfer of heat. These are methods of transfer of heat. You will understand that there are three methods for the transfer of heat, and after studying these methods, conduction and convection, you will be able to differentiate between conduction and convection, and you will be able to solve all these questions about conduction and convection. Okay, understand? Once again, what are the objectives of this lesson? Objectives of this lesson are to become able to understand the relationship between heat and kinetic energy, what is kinetic molecular theory, and to understand, to make unable to difference between conduction and convection and their details, and to solve, to attempt all answers of questions. Okay, is it clear? Okay, now we are going to our topic. Heat is about moving particles. Heat is about moving particles. Now look at this page. Heat is about moving particles. In our previous lecture, in our first lecture, we also studied about this, that particles move. We also studied this, that matter is made up of particles which are called atoms and molecules. You must know it that in previous lecture, I told you the answer of that question, what are tiny particles, what are they made up of, and I told you that these particles are called atoms and molecules. Now this is the clear answer of that question. Now these atoms and molecules, these particles constantly move throughout the time, each and every time, and their movement will be, they vibrate in solids and move freely in liquids. Their movement in liquids is faster than solids, and in gases the movement of molecules become fastest of these two, because in gases particles have no interactive forces between them and they have a high distance between them. If you look at these diagrams, for example, these are particles in solids. You are looking at this cursor and look at this solids. What is about solids? In solids, distance between particles is very less, and particles are attached with each other with a greatest force, and so particles cannot move from one place to another place. In solids, particles only vibrate around its fixed positions, its fixed place. For example, if you look at ice, look at iron, copper, gold, any solid, its particles will not move from one place to another place. Have you seen everywhere in the world that some some particles will move from here to there, and move from here to there, like flow of liquid? Is it possible? No, not at all. So we can say that in solids particles only vibrate about their fixed position. Now look at this diagram about liquids. Liquids have more heat energy than solids. You clear this in previous lecture that movement of solids is due to energy present in movement of particles is due to energy present inside the matter or inside any kind of matter. In liquids, this energy is more than solids. This energy is more than solid. So liquids can flow. In liquids, particles can move around by rolling each other. For example, in liquids, slides of particles are formed. In liquids, layers, slides, layers of particles are formed. For example, in water, layers of particles are formed. For example, one drop move, then the next, and then the third, and so on and so on. And liquids can flow, but their movement is greater than solids but lesser than gases. Now look about this diagram. These are particles of gases. In gases, you are looking at this diagram. These are a few particles and their movement is random. They are moving here and there, up and down, left and right in each direction, but their movements are very fast. Why movements in gases move fastly? Can you explain? Think it in your mind, and then I am giving its answer. Movements in particles of gases is very fast because gases have a lot of distance between particles, so they have very less, so they have least interactive forces. What is meant by interactive forces? These are forces which are present between molecules. These molecules, for example, this molecule and this molecule and this molecule, these have a lot of distance, and due to greater distance they have very lesser, least intermolecular forces. Intermolecular forces means which are present between these atoms and molecules. Okay, understand? The example of this is steam. There are many other gases. For example, carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen. These are examples of gases. In these gases, molecules are put far away from each other, and they move very fastly, and they have very least intermolecular attractive forces. Okay, it's clear. Okay, students, please. Now we are going to kinetic theory of particles. First of all, this kinetic theory which we studied now, that particles move throughout each and every time. In solid, this movement is slower. In liquids, it is faster than solids, and in gases, it is fastest. Now, what are applications of this theory, which we studied at a previous page? What are applications of this study? This study can explain how a substance melt, how it evaporates, how condensation takes place, how freezing takes place, and so on. Now we will explain these terms one by one. Now, for example, this is melting. Students, think it in your mind. What is melting? Can you explain it? It's very easy. When any solid is heated, when we are heating that solid, it is gaining heat energy. It is gaining energy in the form of heat. And when it gains energy, its particles move fastly. When it gains energy, its particles move fastly. They strike with one another and collide with the walls of the container, and after some time these movements become so fast that solid is broken down. It is like, for example, when a building is collapsed, its particles will be collapsed, and its shape will be disturbed. When a solid melts, its shape is not remain same. Okay, because liquids have no shape. Solids have a specific shape. Liquids have no shape. Evaporation. What is evaporation? Evaporation, when a liquid is heated, heat is applied to a liquid, the movement of its particles become faster and faster. The reason is the same. The heat energy is being stored in the particles, and when these are gaining this heat energy, these particles, by gaining energy, their movement becomes fast, they collide with each other, and some molecules escape the surface of the liquid. This process of leaving the surface of liquid or to escape from the surface of liquid, this is called evaporation, and evaporation takes place at any temperature. However, at higher temperature process of evaporation increases, and at lower temperature it decreases, but it continues at any temperature. This is due to evaporation that plants leave water from their leaf and stems and do get water from the inside of the surface, inside of the soil. Okay, understand? Now students, please, next is condensation. What is condensation? Condensation, in condensation a liquid is converted into solid. For example, when heat energy is removed from a gas, its temperature falls. For example, when a gas is cooled down, its temperature decreases, and that gas convert into the liquid of the same state after decreasing energy, after falling temperature. This process is called condensation. Do you understand what is condensation? What is condensation? Please think it in your mind. Condensation is the conversion of solid into a liquid by decreasing temperature, by decreasing its energy of its molecules, and when energy of its molecules decrease, their movements become slowed down, and so a gas is converted into liquid. Conversion of gas into liquid is called condensation. Next is freezing. What is freezing? For example, you take some water in a container and keep it in your refrigerator. What happens? Give you answer? Okay, you know the answer, that after some time that cup of water or a glass of water or any container of water will start to freeze down inside the refrigerator. We think make it to freeze. Actually, movement of particles of liquids slows down, and due to slowing the movement of liquid, its particles come closer to each other, and so close to each other that they turned into a solid, and they fixed with each other. Their intermolecular forces increased. Okay, once a summary of all these terms: melting, conversion of solid into liquid by increasing temperature by heating; evaporation, conversion of when heat is supplied, particles move faster and faster, and some particles go out from the surface of a liquid or in the gas phase. This is called evaporation. And condensation, conversion of gas into a liquid by decreasing temperature, by decreasing energy; and freezing, conversion of liquid into solid by decreasing energy. It means condensation is conversion of gas into liquid, and freezing is conversion of liquid into solid. Okay, understand? And freezing and melting takes place at the same temperature, because freezing occurs in liquids to solids and melting occurs when solids are converting into liquid. This occurs at same temperature. Now we come to next point. Mass is conserved in these changes of state. When these changes of state takes place, for example, or solid is converting into liquid, or liquid is converting into gas, or gas is converting into liquid, and so on, vice versa, there is not any change takes place in their mass remains same. This is called law of conservation of mass. According to law of conservation of mass, the molecules can change their shapes, can change their position, change their state, but their total number and their total mass remains the same. Okay, understand? This is a law of conservation of mass. Once again, during conversion of states of matter from solid to liquid or liquid to gas or any other state, they change the state of matter, shape of matter, but their mass remains the same. Okay, now we are going to our next topic, that is conduction. There are methods of transfer of heat. We since the start of this chapter we are talking about what is heat transfer from higher temperature bodies to lower temperature bodies. Now what are the methods of heat transfer? Can you tell me how many methods are these and which are these methods? Of course, these are three methods. First of all, conduction, second convection, and third radiation. Today we will study about conduction and convection, and in our next lecture we will study about radiation. Now what is conduction? Through conduction, heat can travel through solids. Conduction is the method by which heat can transfer through solids. It means conduction is a process in which a medium of particles is required, and in solids medium remains at the same place, particles remains at the same place, only energy in the form of heat moves from place to place, from one particle to other, second to third to fourth, and so on. Now look at this example. This is a person who is making a soup. He was stirring that soup, but look at his hands. He can't catch that spoon in his hand because it has become hot. Why this spoon becomes hot? And which thing take energy from the spoon, convert energy from the soup to the spoon? The heat energy from the soup enters into that stalled of spoon. From here it moves one by one, molecule by molecule towards the upper end, and after some time it reaches here, and the person will be forced to pull away his hand. Okay, now metal spoon conducts heat from the hot soup to our hand, to the hand of that person. So we can say that in that in metals, conduction takes place through the movement of particles. Through the movement of energy, particles remain at the same place. Now it's another example. Metals are best conductors of heat because heat can travel through them easily. Why metals are best conductors of heat? Why other things are not best conductors? Metals are best conductors of heat that because they have free electrons in them. Metals are of bigger size and they have tendency to lose electrons due to formation of cations, positive ions. So in metals, electrons can leave the metals easily and can move from one place to another place. So metals are best conductors of heat, and due to their best conductors, metals are used in our electric wires. For example, copper wires are used in our electrical devices like this is a DC motor, fan, etc. And similarly, silver wires are used in our electric poles to flow the energy from one place to another place and so on. Now, copper is the best conductor of heat. It conducts heat 10 times better than iron. What is the reason? Reason is that in copper, movement of molecules is faster. Its electrons are more free than iron, and movement of electrons in copper is faster than the iron. So it's a best conductor of heat. Now, there are some substances which can't conduct heat. These substances which are poor conductors of heat are called insulators. Insulators are also have a lot of importance. Some examples of insulators are fur, feathers, wool, plastic, foam, glass, etc., leather. These are insulators. Why heat cannot conduct through insulators? Heat cannot conduct through insulators because they contain pockets of trapped air, because heat or air trapped inside their particles. They cannot move from one place to another place. Okay, so then this is the point. When heat energy travels by conduction, the energy is passed from one atom or molecule to the next. Molecules remains at the same place. Only energy is passed from one atom to another atom, and it is the heat that flows, not the heated items. Understand? Once to summarize this, what is conduction? Can you explain what is conduction? Conduction is the method of transfer of heat through which energy flows from particle to particles through conductors, through metals, but particles remain at the same place. Particles will not move along with energy. For example, in spoon, energy will move from one particle to other, from one end to another, and so on. Now, look at this page. There are some dear students, look at this diagram. This is a metal bar like a rod of metal, and at this corner we are heating this metal. You are looking that this metal is becoming red hot, and this hotness, this red color move from particle to particle towards that side, like look at that arrow. For example, heat conductors from warm to cold. Heat conducts from warm to cold. What happens when we start heating to this metal bar? Heat comes here in these particles, from this particle to this particle, from this to this, from this to this, from this to this, and so on till the end. At the start, this end of metal will be cooler, cold, but after some time it becomes hot because energy is reached here by moving some distance, by traveling some distance. Okay, so particles vibrate more quickly when heated. Some of this energy is passed on to neighboring molecules, which pass it on to their neighbors, and so on. Okay, understand? Is it clear? If you find any problem, you can ask question in your WhatsApp group. Next is assignment about this topic. Next is assignment about this topic. What is, for example, these are questions of this assignment. For example, which materials make the best conductors of heat, like copper, iron? What is an insulator? Name 3 insulators. Third, explain how heat is conducted along a metal bar. Suggest why the base of a saucepan is made of metal, because these are conductors. The handle of a saucepan is made of plastic, because these are insulators. You have to explain these terms. I am only giving you tips. Polar bears have a thick fur of coat, thick coat of fur, because fur is a insulator, and it does not allow to conduct coldness from here. Birds fluff out their feathers in winter. Why they fluff out? So that heat cannot, so that coldness, winter coldness cannot come from their bodies. Okay, understand? Is it clear? Now come to another point, which is convection. What is convection? Can you explain? Convection takes place in liquids and gases. These may be poor conductors of heat because their particles are free to move around. Convection cannot happen in solids. In solids, convection cannot take place because their particles are held in framework, because their particles cannot move around as they do in liquids and gases. Do you understand? Are you understanding my this fact? Are you consider it correct? Is my opinion correct that convection only takes place in liquids and gases and it cannot take place in solids? And why? Once again, the reason is that in solids, particles are fixed in a framework. They can't move from their place, from one place to another. They only vibrate. But in convection, movement of particles takes place along with heat. Movement of particles takes place along with heat. How? For example, when you are boiling water, look at this. When water is boiled in an electric kettle, when you are boiling water, the movement of molecules of water will become faster and faster. They will touch the walls of the container and they will collide with one another, and after some time they have so much energy, they have a lot of energy to escape the surfaces of a liquid. They will be a continuous, and this energy is called convection current. A continuous circulating stream is set up in the kettle. This is called a convection current. Okay, do you clear? If you find any question, you can ask by your teacher. Once again, convection takes place in liquids and gases, and in convection particles move from one place to another place. In solids, particles cannot move from one place to another place, so in solids convection cannot takes place. And due to convection, a flow of energy, a circulating stream is made up of. This is called convection current. Okay, now look at this example. For example, these are land and sea breezes. These are land and sea breezes. During the daytime, land is heated by the sun much more quickly than the sea. This sets up a convection current, so air moves from the sea. When damp air from over the sea rises, it cools to form clouds. And at the night time, this air, at daytime, it means at daytime cold air from the sea comes to the land, and at night time hot air from the sea comes to the land. These are land and sea breezes. Now look at this diagram. In this diagram, this is heated air moving, heater heating wings, and this is cold air wing. For example, this is a heater, and this is a heater. It is running in a room, and heat is moving from it towards other sides of a room. For example, this side, this side, this side, towards each and every thing present in the room. And can you explain why a room having spacious space, or it means a bigger room, and whose ceilings are higher than the then it will take more time to warm? Why? Because heat is moving, it will take time to reach each and everything. Okay, it's clear. Okay, thanks again. Now we come to another assignment. What is this? Why can liquids and gases carry heat? Through conduction. And explain how a heater warms all the air in a room. I was explaining now it by example. Why do you think it takes a long time to heat a room with a high ceiling? Now I was explaining it that it will take a long time because heat transfer from particle to particle from one place to another place, and it will take some time to reach the high ceiling, to reach the spacious to cover the spacious room. Why do you think convection cannot happen in solids? It's a question we do at the start of convection, that in solids molecules are fixed in a framework, they don't move from one place to another, so convection cannot happen in solids. Okay, thank you. Now almost our lecture is completed. Its summary is that movement of particles or atoms is affected by temperature. It means that when temperature increases, movement of energy becomes faster, and this is known as kinetic theory. Heat can be transferred from one place to another through these three methods, which are conduction, convection, and radiation. Conduction. What is conduction? Conduction is the movement of heat through a solid such as a metal, and convection is the transfer of heat by the movement of a fluid. Fluid means liquid or gas, due to difference of temperature, and convection cannot occur in solids. Now this is in our upcoming lecture we will study about radiation, emitters and absorbers, and vacuum flasks, and then in next lecture we will do workbook exercises. Dear students, this is a video you can locate at this link http www.youtube, and this video is present in our science lab also. This shows us the comparison of conduction, convection and radiation in a very good manner. And this is at the end, this is question answer session. Dear students, as you know, if you have any question related to the lecture, you can ask in your relevant WhatsApp group by your respective teacher which is in your timetable. Okay, understand? Dear student, thank you very much for your patience, for listening my lesson, and I request to you to do answers of these questions very carefully. Thank you very much. Thank you again. Allah Hafiz.